Hey friends, Adam here. Welcome to another video. This is another in the 75 ball challenge series. I will create and put a link to a playlist up here somewhere for the 75 ball challenge, and also I did a 150 ball challenge video. Basically, it is 15 ball open. I don't know what you call it. Just it's like straight pool without the break shot. You break 15 balls. You take ball in hand, you make every ball, and if you make every ball, you add up your score and you go on. If you miss at any point, you tally up your score and start over. In this, specifically the 75 ball challenge, you do not keep shooting if you miss. The goal is to run 5 racks in a row. That's 75 balls. If you miss, you're supposed to write down whatever number you had and then continue, or start over, I should say. However, lately I've been, if I get to 75, I have been continuing just to see how many I can get. I may have a new record here. Actually, I probably spoiled it in the title already, but let's head over to the table, get this thing started, and we will talk this one through. All right, break is not important in this game. If you scratch, the only negative is if you scratch, you need to spot whatever balls were made when scratching. In the 150 ball challenge that I did, and by now I'll put a link to that one, you lose 2 points on a scratch, but everything stays down. This one, you do not lose points at all. You can only gain points. However, in this one, as soon as you miss, you're done. So if you run 74 and miss the 75th ball, that you get 74. If you miss on ball in hand trying a 3-ball combo first shot of the game, oh geez, you get 0. But I did not get 0. In fact, I made 2 balls on the break, so those would have counted. So I would have gotten 2 if I missed there. As it is, I saw a 3-ball combo. It's like a shiny object in front of my eyes, and there it is. Let me know what you think of the quality of the camera and things. I have moved things around a bit. Trying new things and I'm trying to get a system where I can use, or I was trying, where I could get a live stream with the same exact setup as my recording. Doesn't look like that's going to be possible because it only, the GoPro 13 only exports or outputs, that's the word I want, to HDMI at 1080p. It records at 4K. This is recorded at 4K. It looks okay, I think. Let me know what you think. I think it's still good enough for a match. I may have to tweak things. I am working on, in fact, if you have not seen this video, the huge announcement, sort of, is that I am running a tournament out of my house. It's going to be similar to Drew Von Port's Bonsai League, but we're not going to have a cool name for it probably unless we come up with something. So I'm just clearing out these balls. I had a good breakout shot with that, whatever that was here, breaking these 2 out. That was really the key of this rack. The other key of this rack then is to get the 4-ball out of the way. And I'm looking at it now. I can get on this 13 from anywhere. In fact, every video I say, put the money ball where it's racked if you're playing 8, 9, or 10 ball and shoot it from all over the table. So I'm going to get this 4-ball out of the way now because I have natural angle to hit the 11 and leave myself on the rail. I don't think that was the plan of that shot. I was trying to come around 2 rails out and get probably the 12 or maybe even the 7 on the side. But as it is, I have to shoot this ball. Now, shot choice here is crucial because I don't want to really be moving balls here. So I'm playing the 7. It's going to hit the 5 and go somewhere. And I got lucky that the 5 went all the way through there. It could have easily stayed right here and given me more problems. Now, granted, I probably would have been able to break them out with the 1 right now, but the key to this game, when I was given this challenge by Mark Wilson, my coach, and he said, at some point someone asked him, how many 80% shots do you make? And he's like, oh, I make 80% shots all the time, thinking that was a good thing. The problem is with 80% shots, you're missing 20% of the time. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot either, but if you think about it, you're missing 1 in 5 shots. So if you're shooting 100 balls, if your goal is to make 100 balls, you're going to miss 20, you're never going to get there. So you want to shoot shots that are way over 80%, and this is not going to be an 80% shot. this is not going to be good. So we'll have to see what happens here. I think I'm going to play this at the lower right, drift down for the 13, and that happened to work out really well. Looking at something over here. Okay, just wanted to check something. So the point of this whole exercise of the 75 ball challenge is what Mark Wilson calls economy of cue ball travel, which means you want to move the cue ball as little as possible between your shots, because the more you move the cue ball, the more chance there is for issues or errors or misses. But as it is, I ran the first rack out. I have 15. You'll notice in the lower corner here, after every rack, I'm not going to keep count every ball because there's not a great way to do that in my video editing software. And I don't want to, don't want to go over to my scoreboard on, up here and mark every single point off. So that break was a little rough. I'm still concentrating on the break to try to make a good break. I'm not just doing whatever, because this is good practice for the 8-ball break as well. And by 8-ball break, I don't mean making the 8-ball, I mean just the game of 8-ball. I'll start talking more about the pool and stuff now. I have issues with these 4 and these 4. I have to figure out, with ball in hand, what would be the best place to start to make it the easiest to get to. I think this 11 goes here, and that will kind of open up all of these. Once the 11 and this 13 are out of the way, that opens up everything. So I just need to break out this 6 from the, oh boy, the 3 from the 6. Now I got lucky because I left the combo straight in. Otherwise I did have the 2 to be able to break it out. I could use the 6 later on to break it out. I could use the 1, but because the combo's dead in, I'm right on it. I'm just going to take it now. Drinking more Gatorade Zero. Put this right in front of the camera so you can see it's the Glacier Cherry flavor. It's the, there's, all cherries are white, I guess. Do not question the genius of Gatorade. It has what plants crave. Oh wait, that's something else. So here I'd like to take the 14 to get down in this area. Just drawing random things on the screen so I can get that 11 out so I can clear out the rest of those. Now if I can draw back a little bit and take the 4 and then the 13, that would clear everything out and everything's good to go. A little fast on the transition there. Gotta work on that. I noticed that I've been faster on my draw strokes in the transition on draw strokes, so note to self, don't do that anymore. I don't know why I'm not taking the 4. Although the 4, everything goes in this pocket down here, so I don't know if I want to come up that far for it, but I can always use the 7 to get back down on it. I can also use the 5 to just kind of float down here for the 4 again if I want to. I'm not really concerned about anything up here because they all go. A lot of times people say you want to take, especially in 8-ball, you want to take one like quadrant or half of the table. If you divide your table into that nice straight line there, Sam. You want to take things on one half or one quadrant of the table first. I found in this, if you can use key ball, key ball is a bad word, but I'll use the word key ball to get yourself from one position to the other. It doesn't really matter. Like if I have a ball hanging in the corner here, I don't need to finish that out. I could use that for the last ball in this. Because I could be, if there's a ball sitting in here, I have the entire table as my position zone on that ball. Probably stating the obvious, but just kind of want to say it out loud. Now here, if I can get to the 2 is the only one that's a little tight because it probably doesn't have a full pocket. It probably has 90% of the pocket there. Depending on the angle, it probably has a full pocket here. But I want to be able to get an angle on it to be able to get the 2 out of there. I can either do it now, or because I got good on the 8 with another angle to come out, I can do it on the 8s. Patterns here are going to be tough. I did this, when did I record this? On the 12th of August, narrating it on the 21st of August. So it's been a little bit. I don't remember every rack. But what I can do here is I'm probably going to do the 1, 6, 3, and then just come out. You know, if I get like here for the 3, I can just come out for the 2. It's not a really big positional thing. I could have picked almost any pattern there because they were all wide open. And the real wide open, not the Romine's old guys wide open, where they break and they scratch and there's 14 balls in a cluster and one on the side and I go, oh, it's wide open for you. Now the key here is it's a stroke and a focus and a endurance test or exercise, where just because I have a straight in ball, I can't ease up on the stroke and on the technique. I need to be focused on every single ball and every single shot, because every single shot matters. And typically the easiest ones are the ones you end up missing. And, you know, especially after you make a tough shot, the easiest shot that comes next is one that you tend to miss. So this is a very good exercise for that. It's a very good exercise to keep your focus in. It's good for breaking. It's good for stroke. It's good for, I'm going to use focus here again, but I can tell when I do this exercise when I'm getting tired, because I'm not taking my time and I'm one stroking things and not looking at the patterns and everything as closely as I should be. Now here, everything is wide open. I wouldn't be lying if I said I took the 5 just so I can get the rack out of the way or the template out of the way, but it also opened up everything here. It's no longer blocking anything. And since everything really goes EFG, as the DVP says, yeah, you know me, or something. So I'm just picking these balls apart. I'm going to use stop shots as much as I can. 2 on the side. I'm probably going to have to draw or follow this depending on which ball I want to get on, because I don't want to be stuck here shooting the 10, because I don't want to be bridging over the 3. So just follow that up a little bit. Follow it up for the 3, I think. Probably going to be going a little bit away from it, but again, I'm playing that, and I've mentioned this in a number of videos. I'm playing the stop shot stroke, which means the cue ball is going to move, but the stroke that I'm putting on and the tip position is a stop shot. If they were straight in, that would have been a stop shot. Since they're a little bit off, the cue ball moves a little bit, and I use that to my advantage for positioning. That one is a little bit of the same. I did drop back just a little bit to get a better angle on the 7 to come out for whatever I can get at this point. It's in my head when I'm playing, I know what I'm going for. It's possible I go for the 13. It's possible I'm going for one of these 2. Kind of just depends on how I'm feeling and what the table looks like. This angle is a little bit different than when you're on the table. Actually, a bit different. Another thing in this exercise is you want to get rid of these balls by the side pocket, because they are tough. You don't want to use them to get shape, especially when it gets down to the last few balls, because it's really easy to get on the wrong side of that ball and then not get the right position. Like, I think I wanted to be here for the 14, and now I'm a little bit off. If I take the 14, I'm going to be running into stuff. I do not want to run into things. As that is, I'm going to hit the 14 and probably run into this 12 ball. Now, I knew I had the 13 and the 1 for sure as insurance. I knew I had a chance of getting shot in the 12. I probably have this 11 in the side. Although once we get down to like the 11, that's getting into the 80% shot range. I want to take ones that are more than 80% to make. Here I got a little bit straight. Would have liked to have been a ball over, so when I play it, it just drifts over. So I'm either going to draw back more to leave an angle, or I'm just going to play for the 1. Yeah, I think I drew back more for an angle. I don't know if I like taking the 9 here. I almost like taking the 1, but if I make the 9, I'm done. Cue ball's going to naturally float over here. A little bit of low outside, which is right in this case. Decided to go all the way over to the 1. I could take either this 12 or the 1 right now. Taking the 12 mostly because I'm right-handed and the reach is tougher on the 1. That's really it. And now I can reach this much easier. So this will be rack 3, 45 balls, almost in 0 time. Not 0 time, but I don't know if we look and see where I am on the video. It is 14 minutes in, including my little intro there, or plus my little intro there. So things are going well, and that is almost the perfect break. I got two balls going in the side pockets. The cue ball popped up a little bit, which you see a lot of the pros do the pop break. What that mainly does, it does 2 things for me. It pops it in the air a little bit so that one of the balls flying out of the rack towards it doesn't kiss it right away. And it also, the spin comes off of it when it's in midair. Any spin that might be on it, so it drops and it kind of sits in place. Now, your goal is to hit it here. It's a lot of times an 8-ball, the cue ball will fly back, which is a good thing because if you go to the side, it's a lot of times it will go into one of these side pockets. Let's see, what do we got here? The 9-ball is the biggest problem in this rack, and that's really it. So I'm going to use whatever that ball I just shot on the side was, short-term memory. What am I doing? Oh, hi. To get to the 2 to get to the 9. Just going to bounce this off one rail, play the 9 up at the top, and then I'm probably leaving this 11. Could leave for the 6. I could, if I get in trouble somehow making a stop shot here. I got the 8 all the way up here. Again, this is 15 balls, any order, ball in hand after the break, and the goal is just to run out. Stripes and solids don't matter. 8-ball doesn't matter. A ball is a ball is a ball. If I had a rack of all the same color balls, I could do that. It would be really hard to narrate, though. So I was talking about the side balls, and you look, I'm a little off on this ball. I'm a little off on this ball. If those are the only 2 left, I'd have to move the cue ball quite a bit to get back on them. So you kind of want to get those balls in the side pockets out of the way earlier on, or play stop shot position. That's hard to say on them. Like right now, I'm straight in, so I can just play a stop shot, and I'll have the 5, the 14, the 10, or draw back a little bit for the 10. This will help you a lot. It may seem easy, especially since I'm kind of running through all these. It may seem like a really easy game, but it really helps for a lot of pattern play in any game you play. Particularly 8-ball, but also it helps a 9 and 10 ball getting the correct side of what I call the pocket line or the shot line. Like here, the 7 goes in here. If I was on this side of the shot line, the cue ball is going this way, but instead the cue ball is naturally going up this way. So what I want to do is I want to make sure I don't hit the 14, and I want to kind of stun past that to where I'm hoping for the 5 on the side, but if I don't, I have the 8. Now, I've had more than one person say, well, why don't you play straight pool? There's a couple of reasons why I don't. It's not a game that I'm going to play against anyone. I don't really know anyone that wants to play straight pool, at least on a regular basis. It's, for me, it's a much better game on a 9-foot table than an 8-foot table, but really the number one thing for me is these walls. It's a 13, I think it's like 13 foot 4 inches, 13 foot 6 inches, 13 and a half, somewhere in there. And as you've seen, if I'm on the rail, I have to use a short cue. There are a lot of shots in straight pool that come up because the majority of your rack is going to be sitting here. You're going to be shooting a lot from these positions. And it's just frustrating playing with the walls. Now, if I had a different size room and I had a 9-foot table, I think it might be another story. But for now, I prefer this method over straight pool. This method is easier than straight pool for sure because I don't have to worry about a break shot. I'm just playing every ball. That one I thought I was a little more comfortable playing in the corner than the side. I almost missed it, but finish rack 4, 60 balls. This is the 75th ball on the table right now. Well, I was talking about last rack about the break. If you hit it off to the side, it's very possible to scratch in these side pockets. I got lucky. I think the bounce took it out of there. So here I'm just going to take the template rack out of there. I'm using the Teom Max rack that you've seen a number of times on this channel. And this one's really good, except this. And there's not a great ball to break this out with. It would be great if there's a ball like here. But since there isn't, I have to find a way to do this. And I'm going to use this 10 ball. I'm going to go, 10's going here, obviously. I'm going to go like one rail into this. And I should have the 5 on the side as my insurance. Or the 7. I mean, the 7 is now the easiest shot on the table. It's hard to reach for a right-hander, but I could use the bridge. I could, oh, what am I doing here? I can't really reach it. Oh boy. I am not really well versed in this shot, and it's hurting my neck looking at it right now, but I got out of it okay. I would, what I mentioned there about the 5 being the insurance ball, start thinking about that in your 8-ball games. Start thinking about when you have to do a breakout, do you have an insurance ball? Like here, I was breaking these 2 balls out, but I was never going to be in trouble because I had the 5, I kind of had the 1, and I had what could have been the 3 or the 7, depending on how it hit into those balls. If you start thinking about that in 8-ball, making sure that you have an insurance ball when you're playing a pattern, you're going to get out much more often. And if you don't, maybe consider playing safe and not taking the shot. I see a lot of people just go for breakouts because, oh, what do I got to do? And then they're leaving the breakout for last and they don't have a way to get out. At some point, I'm going to do a video on like playing, say, 10 games of 8-ball with me, and I'm going to go through from break, no ball in hand or anything, no ghost matches or anything like that. In fact, here's a playlist of my ghost matches if you haven't seen it. Just what would I do in a normal game? Now, I'm going to be getting the break, so it's going to be a little bit different than if opponent breaks, but I'll change up the break from maybe head ball to side ball or second ball from the side and things like that, and just walk through what I'm thinking in real time. I'm going to do it mic'd up if I can get this mic working. I have one more thing on order that may make this whole thing work, and kind of say, okay, am I going to run out here? Am I going to play safe here? What am I thinking about? And things like that. And I think that'll help a lot of people. So I'm getting a little bit off on almost every leave here. And this is what can happen and I'm sure you've noticed it in 8, 9, and 10 ball. When you play, if you get a little bit off on one leave, each leave is just a little bit more off. One of the bigger things that separates the pros from amateurs, aside from playing 8 to 10 hours a day, is recovery shots. This was a pretty good recovery shot because I'm back in line now and I don't have to worry about playing a whole lot of cue ball. I did have to play a lot of right spin on that ball on the side, but I was able to come out for a decent angle on the 11, pretty much just a stop shot. And I get into the 13, float up for the 5, and then the 6 and 8 are in a manageable position. Now, a lot of people would play this for the side, getting somewhere around here. I don't really want to do that because I think I have more positional options playing in the corner than I do the side. If I was playing the side and I got like here, then I'm having to run the ball kind of 3 rails towards these. If I got way over here, then I'm playing like a down and up position to try to get back on them. In the corner here, I'm just floating like one rail and just out. Resetting on the shot because I didn't like the angle I was at when I first got down on it. And I actually didn't even need to go to the rail. I can just stun over. And the 8 is a natural stun shot again over to the rail for the 6. So here I'm hitting low on the cue ball, but I'm kind of just floating over. maybe a little bit of right spin on that, but a lot of the spin was just induced from the cut. Cut-induced spin, is that a thing? I think that's a thing. And I've done it. I've gotten 75. Now, if you are practicing the 75 ball challenge, you should technically stop here, write 75 down on your score sheet, and start over at 0. But for the sake of having fun, I decided to go through and see how many I can get in a row. Weird break, but I got a ball down. And everything, again, is pretty open. These two are an issue. This 8 ball is an issue, kind of. But more of these two because I don't think either one of them goes past the 5. So I need to figure out a way to either break these out or get the 5 out of here and use the 6 to get back on these. Now this is dangerous. I'm looking at playing the 5 here, putting the cue ball into these, but the problem is the 10 goes right towards the 13. The 4 could go over here, and I could create more problems. So here, I like what I'm doing here. And I don't remember this, all the specifics of this. I'm glad I'm doing this because there is a way to get on these 2 balls later. Now, that said, in this challenge, you do want to, and in any game, when you have problem balls, you want to take care of them as soon as possible. But if you have a plan for them and a good, easy, straightforward way to get on them, that's also a good way to do it. And I have this 6 ball here that I can use to get on these, and in lesser case, the 13 as well. And I have many balls that I can use to get on this 6. Now here I got kind of goofy and everything, so I'm just taking the duck of the 2 ball. I don't know if I wanted to do that. If I have this 11 on the side, this is a touchy shot. In fact, I just put a match up. If I have any cards left, I'll put a match to the 8 ball set that I played against Matt K, where I got myself in trouble on a shot like that and actually decelerated and the ball didn't even go anywhere. Well, it went somewhere, but it didn't hit a rail, it didn't go in a pocket, and I gave up ball in hand. So here I am leaving this 10 and 4 kind of dangerously late. I like to be able to play the 13 now, but I don't think I can bounce off the rail and hold it enough for the 6. I want more of a straighter in, like right in this line on the 13 would be good. So I'm going to use the 8 ball to get kind of these two out. I did not want to do that. I wanted to follow it out here and play this on the same side, but I do have the 7 as insurance. And I am thinking about a lot of these things as I'm shooting. Like, okay, I need to get here, but I'll always have this in case. So here I got really good on the 6. I'm just really far away from it. Now, both of them are not frozen, or neither of them are frozen, I should say. So I think I'm going to take this now. I am going to leave myself on the rail because I don't want to force this out. Depending on how I'm feeling, I may. No, I just played this kind of the... It wasn't a stop shot, it was more of a drag stroke. But now I can play one of these balls, and all I have to do is get one of them out. I don't have to break anything up. So if the 10 goes here, I just play the 10, the cue ball's coming out this way. I'm probably going to have the 3 next, or I can have this, I think that's the 12. And now the problem's solved. The rack is clear. The only other issue I have is these two. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm playing the 9 and I run into this and I think this is the 15. So I need to be aware of that. And I'm looking at that right now. So when you're playing rotation, you're supposed to look three balls, 4 leaves ahead. So how do I play the 1 to get on the 2 to get on the 3 to play shape for the next set? And then each time you hit 1 ball, you're shifting that over. In this format, that is still applicable. Sometimes you're only looking at 1 ball. Sometimes you're looking at 6 or 7 ahead. And that's what I was doing there. I was making sure I could get, how do I get this 9 out of here without hitting the 15? And that's one way to do it. I can either play the 15 now or play the 9 or the 15. I think I like playing the 15 here. Yeah, I have more of a natural angle to come out. And I'm going to come out this way with some low right. And now I either have the 4 or the 9, depending on which one I like best and which one has the better angle to get me on the next ball. Now in straight pool, I'd be looking at my key ball being the 13 and my break ball being the 14 or the 4. But we're not playing straight pool. I don't have to worry about a break ball. So I just need to draw a little bit back here. This shot, there's 2 ways to play it. 4 is going here every time. I can, actually there's 3 ways. I can come out here and play it in the top corner. I can kind of stop shot it here and play it in the side, or I can force it around and play it in the same corner. I'm coming out one rail, kind of aiming for the side, but knowing I have the corner as the backup. As I chalk the table, I think I should play this in the corner. Playing this in the side, especially as the last ball on a run, is very touchy. What am I doing? I lined that up for right about here, it looks like. I think I dropped my chalk there. No, I didn't know. Maybe I just tripped over my own big dumb feet. But I am playing this in the corner. I wasn't aimed right. I still hit it into the side, but I hit it at pocket speed. I'm at 90 balls. This rack will put me over 100 if I can get 10 of them, or 11. Math is fun here. Cue ball got kissed a bunch of times, but I think I made 3 balls. 4 balls. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 4 balls on the break. The obvious issues are these 2. The less obvious issues are these 2. These 2 are also kind of an issue because I don't want to get into a position where I'm making one and running into the other. So I need to get good on that. But it looks like if I can get a stop shot on the 6 up here, I have the 3. I don't know if the 6 goes past this ball, which I think is the 12. So I may need to take the 12 first. But I want to take care of this problem because this is here. The 13 goes, ball in hand, stop shot. Now I can get the 5 out of there, and then these 4 are solved. It's a lot of talking because it's every ball. I don't have to just run out 8 or 9 or 10. It's all 15. So I must have had the angle that I had to go into the 4, so I kind of forced that a little bit. I could take the 4 now, but it's a big reach for a right-hander because I have to cue from way up here kind of. So taking the 8 in the side, that is a little touchy shot. Following forward for the 14, if you don't know the speed of the table and you tend to overroll things, that could be a scratch because that was, as you saw, that was pretty dead straight in. Here the only issue is I think I'm going to be on the rail, so I'd like to say I want to punch out here, but I don't want to, I don't want to put the shot at risk or making the ball at risk because how many times have you bobbled a ball you hit too hard into the corner, especially if you're just off a little bit. But now I can play the 4 and I can just come up one rail either to either side of the 10. I played that with left, which is a little bit outside to bring this back. If I used a little bit of right, I could have come to this side. If I used top, I would have gone right into it maybe. Now here, I think that was a mistake because I don't think I was playing for the 3. I think I was playing for just get up the table somewhere and we'll have a shot. The 6 must go because I'm taking it, and as I was talking about before, the 6 leads to the 3 really well, and that opens up. I mean, everything is opened up, but that really finalizes the rack. And with that ball, I believe, no, it was the ball before that I went over 100. I'm not keeping track by ball. I'm keeping track by rack until we get to that spot. I actually took the 1 there. I don't know how straight I am on this ball. I may end up coming out 2 rails with some upper right, go 1, 2, and out. I also may come low right, low left, and come out this way. Looks like I'm doing the latter, and I'm playing for something in the side. Oh, or I was really straight in, and I had to draw straight back. Now this, I'm going to play top, maybe just a touch of outside, which is left at this point, just to kind of hold the straight back and forth angle. Kind of maybe come out here for the 3. I'll leave this on and see how I do. It's pretty good. That is pretty good. So after 7 racks, I am at 105 balls and continuing. Break is starting to break down. Get it? Break down. And if this were one where you don't get ball in hand, I would have been in trouble, but this is one where you get ball in hand, so I'm not in trouble. Let's see, problems here are going to be these 3. These 2, and lesser extent that 7. The 2 ball needs to get out of the way before the 9 can go. These I have to figure out, but I think if I can get on the 14, then the 10 goes, and the 5 is not an issue. So taking the 2 out because that's the biggest problem on the table right now. I'm just going to come out this way. Stun with a little bit of left spin. Now that I will fully admit I did not have a plan for what ball I was shooting. I was just aiming for middle of the table. Now there is an advanced version of this game where you must call the next ball and pocket that you're going to be shooting at. I think it's a great exercise. Whoops, sorry, just bashed my knee on the table there and probably shook everything. Probably not the table, but just my camera. I prefer this method, obviously, because it's easier by tenfold, probably. The other method does not encourage pattern play as much because in 8-ball, especially, you're going to be playing zones and you're going to be playing for multiple balls. So that was the shot I was talking about when I either on the 4 or 14 or the 5, I could get this 15 or this, I can't talk, this 10 out. And then that solves a problem up there. Again, I'm shooting from a kind of middle table position. I need to work on that. I need to get a little bit more precise. And I think I talked about this in a video a while ago where Anthony from On the Snap had a lesson with Max Eberly who said, instead of going for a zone position, even though I just said it, try to do a pinpoint position. And you're probably going to miss it 9 out of 10 times, but it gets you thinking more about that point. Now, in 8-ball, you can have a single ball position where you have 3 balls to shoot at. Nothing wrong with that. What you don't want is you don't want to go, oh, I'll just get over there somewhere, which is what I've been doing in this rack, and I can shoot either this or that because you're going to be off on almost every angle at that point. So here I want to clear out the 8. I want to get a leave on the 12 that I can just come one rail out here. I think, so I can either punch this off the rail or I can follow it with inside. I have had problems, very specifically me recently, with trying to follow those 2 rails down with a little bit of upper left and not getting back up high enough because I'm afraid I'm going to get too close to this ball. So I think right now I'm really straight and I have to draw back to the rail and out. This is going to be inside spin, so this is going to be right spin, which will then reverse the angle. Actually, that looked like more just straight draw. I needed to come back and out, but I didn't really necessarily need to be down table because these shots are, if I get pretty straight in, the shots are easy. Now, granted, this is probably an 85% shot, which means 1 out of 6 or so times it's missable. 1 out of 5 times for 80% is much easier math than the 1 out of, I think it's 6.2574 repeating. I don't think that's how it works. Now, remember when I said this 7 was kind of an issue? I don't know if I'm going into it or not. I may have to go into it and hope it moves and hope I get down on the 4 here. Unless I can draw right around it. Yeah, that's exactly what I had to do, is go right into it. Now, I got good on it. I was on the correct, I won't say right, because I was on the correct side to be able to push it out of the way. There are ways that you can get stuck on that ball after you hit it and it bounces off the rail. As it is, the 4 was almost perfect natural angle to get back on the 7. This is going to be rack 8 at 120 balls, assuming I don't just miss this, and I don't think I do. No, I do not. So here we are, rack 9. This is a new record. My previous record was in one of the videos I posted earlier on was 109 or 108, I think, depending on how you look at it, because the camera shut off in the last shot or two. Now I want to pause this because I want to take, you'll notice I have started counting up by ones because bad things are about to happen. The obvious issues on this rack are these 3. However, and this is where the focus part of this game comes in, and the mental endurance, I guess endurance is a good way, mental stamina to be able to play it. I've shot 121 balls in a row, including stuff that goes in on the break, but I've shot more than 100 balls in a row. I knew it was late this night. I don't know what date the 12th was. Let me look. 12th is a Tuesday, so it's probably getting 11:30 p.m. my time. I need to get to bed soon for work the next day, things like that. But I want to try to keep focused. What I didn't look at here, what I'm looking at is these 3 balls that I've circled are an issue. So I need to get the 7 out and bump the 14 in a way that I can clear these out. What I didn't look at is that anywhere, that's not a really good line, anywhere in this area, I can make the 12 and clear both of these out. So I'm going to start this back up. What I'm looking at is maybe taking the 7 first to try to, but the 13's kind of in the way where I want to put the cue ball. So if I play the 13 with a stop shot, I'll be right where I want to be on the 7 to be able to punch this out or do something with it. What I should have done is take this 12 first. Just 1 rail and out and back around, maybe 2 rails. But because I've lost the focus. I'm getting tired. And now I look at this and I'm on a weird angle. And what I'm trying to do is now I'm trying not to hit the 14. Maybe that was the plan. I'm trying not to hit the 14 and get the 7 like maybe out there. I do have this 15 easily. I could shoot the 1, I could shoot the 9, the 10, the 8 in the side, but I'm so hyper focused on this 7 ball that in order to try to get around the 14, I just miss it. And that is where the run ends, with a look of disappointment on my face and everything wide open for another rack. It really is a true test of mental stamina, fortitude, mental fortitude. Maybe. I don't know. It's mental something. Mentalness. Mentalistness. Something like that. But anyway, new record, 122. I want you to do this challenge. Tell me how many you get. Have you gotten the 75 ball challenge done? It's fine. In fact, I have a notebook. In fact, it's right here with all my hand-drawn notes, which is funny because I'm an IT guy. All my hand-drawn scores. I even did a live stream, and I'll put that link up here if I have any cards left. Otherwise, the playlist should have the live stream in it where I did the 75 ball challenge. That was a long live stream. First, right out of the gate, I got 47. And then I got 4. And then I got 9. And then I got 0. And you would ask, how do you get 0 if you can shoot at any ball with ball in hand? That 7 ball shot is almost a perfect example of how I did it. I probably didn't break well. I don't remember it's on the live stream that is in that playlist. And then I might have just linked, but I don't know why I'm holding this pen because I don't need to write anything. But it didn't make anything in the break. I had a cluster I needed to break up, and I went for the breakup and just focused more on the breakup than the ball, or breakout, not breakup, maybe breakup, and then just missed the ball. But then after that, I got my first 75 of the night. And then for a while, I got stuck in the 20s and like the 2 to 3 racks. two 28s, a 24, an 8, because why not, a 35, and then I ended the night with a 75. Spoiler alert, sorry if you stayed and watched that whole 3 hours. I do want to give a shout out to Brian L. I won't say his last name. He knows who he is. He followed me that whole night, and I chatted back and forth with him. I shouldn't say followed. He watched the whole night, and I chatted back and forth with him throughout most of the match. So if you do watch it, turn on the live chat replay feature if you have that. I know like my Fire TV doesn't, but anyway, I've been babbling long enough. Do me a favor, do the YouTube stuff, do the like and share and subscribe and all that stuff. And we'll see you on the next one. I don't know what the next one's going to be, but I may have a special guest. And it might not be the special guest you think it is, but it may be a special guest that you have no idea who it is. We'll see. Until next time, have yourselves a great day and week and month, or until the next video. See you later.